Now we're ready to actually open up the box and attach the lens to the camera. So we've got a brand new box here. And what I'm going to do is open it up, set aside some of this information. Let me make one mention about the manual that comes with the Egg Photo. There is a page in the back that has a list of recommended cameras. I want you to ignore that. The most up-to-date list will always be at eggsolution.com. I also want to mention that inside the manual you will find a registration card, and you will need to fill this out. This registration card is how you register your 1-year warranty on the lens. Now, you'll notice that the serial number, there is a sticker already on the registration card. In the event you misplace this card and you need your serial number, I want to show you there are two places where that appears. It is actually here at the bottom of the Egg Solution box. It's not these numbers that are stamped on the box. There's a small sticker down here that says serial number, and that's the Egg Solution serial number. I'll also mention that it is located on the lens itself underneath the rubber strap or the grip that's around the base of the camera. Don't worry about looking for that. In the event that you need your serial number, just call technical support and they'll happily guide you to the correct place. So what we're going to do is open up the box, and what you'll notice is a plastic bag with a series of different lens adapters. Depending upon your camera, you can use a combination of these. You may, in most cases, typically need only one of these lens adapters, but you can use combinations of them to get this to fit with your lens in your camera. You're also going to get inside it, you're going to get a lens cleaning cloth. I'm going to have you set that aside for a second. We'll take the software out, we'll set that aside for right now, and we'll actually open up the box and pull out the lens. Now the first thing I like to do is actually strap the carrying case, the strap for that, onto the side of the bag. That way I can very easily carry this with me on my listing appointments. So I'll snap that on, both sides. And now we'll actually open up the bag. Now, for those of you with a smaller digital camera, I was actually able to put my digital camera inside this front pouch, which made it great. I was able to carry the camera and the lens together. Now, if you bought a larger camera, that's not going to work for you. So I'm going to set that aside. We're going to take the plastic off of the lens. And the lens comes with a protective rubber stop on the bottom. Make sure that you don't lose this. And you'll only need to place this on when you're putting it back in its protective case. This is a way, there's really only one glass piece on the lens. It's at the base, so make sure you keep this rubber cap to protect that. The last thing you've got to do with the lens is you've got to take this piece of plastic on here. Believe it or not, we have people who taken pictures and they can't figure out why the Egg Solution logo is on all their virtual tours. So we're going to peel that off very gently. Take that off of the lens. And now the lens is ready to go. Now, the first thing we've got to do is make sure we can get this connected to my camera. As I mentioned, we're going to be using this Sony S75 camera. I'm going to actually screw this onto the front of my camera. And then, using the lens adapters that come with the Egg Solution lens, there is an additional adapter. This particular one is the M52 to M46. I'm going to screw that on top of the Sony adapter. And be gentle with these and don't snug them down. They do tend to lock together. So just lightly put them together. Now I'll take the protective tab off the bottom of the lens, and I'll very carefully, very gently screw this onto the adapter and lens. Now that we have the camera attached to the lens, the final step is to make the camera settings. You'll recall that we downloaded these settings from the Egg Solution website. We won't go into great detail here because it's very difficult to see this, and you may have a different camera requiring different settings. But the last thing I want to show you is when you go to take the lens off of the camera, specifically with this adapter, you're going to find in some cases that the adapter rings may actually stay attached to the lens. That's okay. What I want to do is put the protective lens cap over it, very gently over this, before I put it away to store it. So be careful with this. Probably the most fragile part of the lens is down here at the base, so don't force these lens adapters. And now I'm ready to put it back into the carrying case for storage. The final step in the process is to attach your camera to your tripod. Now, what we have is a professional tripod here, and tripods vary in price range from as little as $15 to as much as $300. The professional tripods are very heavy duty, so if you're doing a lot of outdoor work and you're doing open land and you need something real durable, I would spend the extra dollars to get it. One other feature about the professional tripod, look for one that has this flexible ball joint at the top. It makes it very easy for mounting the camera. All I do is screw this into the base of the digital camera. And this professional tripod allows me to spin it and rotate the lens. The key, I guess the key thing to keep in mind here is we want the lens at about eye level as far as height goes. And that way the camera will actually imitate the way most people look around a room. But what's most important is to get the camera and the lens level. And I found in most cases the software is very forgiving, and so is the lens. But do your best to try to eyeball this to get it level. Now, less expensive tripods don't typically have this ball joint, so you may have to actually loosen one or two different things in order to get your camera pointed at the ceiling. But the key ingredient here is we have the digital camera mounted at the base, and we have the camera pointed up to the sky.